Good morning, Centennial. This is Jessica Hintz, and this morning we are going around asking people how they have learned about God and His church through a cross-cultural experience that they may not have learned from their own culture.
Joy, the joy of believers in Miramar, over the top. We went to church on this Sunday, and it was met at the Leper Colony in Miramar. I hadn't expected the joy. And then when I went to shake hands with a brother at the very end, I thought, what? Something's different. Well, he had no fingers because they had all been eaten away, and he just had a stump. So where in our culture would we find that? No. But the joy. Maybe we find that here, but we definitely was there.
Honored enough to get to follow my dad along when he was the commencement speaker at a seminary in Burma. It was really cool to just see in a country that is generally oppressive towards Christians, getting able to see the whole impact of the students and the family there, and just the work that God's doing over there still.
That He is very present in other cultures, especially how they depend on Him day by day for their food, water, housing, everything. And we, in America, I feel, we just take things for granted.
What is something you've learned about God when you've stepped out of your own culture?
Well, being from Romania, I went back when I was 8 and visited my birth family, and they just let me in, and they just open-armed, and even though they're not Christians, they just welcomed me in with, no questions asked. They just welcomed me and let me in, and it was kind of that feeling that, God just opens up with His open arms and heart, and we don't have to do anything. We just get let in. So that's how I learned. That's what I learned.
And so I had one of the Polish believers with me, and then a young lady who she didn't know. She knew of God. That's Polish. 98% of the people in Poland know of God, but they don't have a personal relationship. And the question she asked me, she was probably 17, one that I've never heard an American student say is, so if I have a relationship with Jesus like you say, won't Satan attack me more? And I realized that that's a question that Americans don't necessarily ask because we don't really believe in that stuff unless it's a horror film.
Prior to going to Istanbul, I thought that there were ways that God worked in the Bible and didn't work nowadays, and after going there were so many testimonies of visions and dreams and miraculous healings and God calling people in ways I didn't think He was working anymore.
Worshiping with others in all the different languages and all the different peoples was such a great joy, and such a joy to know that that's how we'll worship God when we get home.
In Thailand, where my son and his wife lived for 3 years, my husband and I spent a time over there with them, taking care of their kids. And we went with them to their church in Bangkok. That was one place that I have been, perhaps the best place I've been, where as I looked around to all the other people there in the church singing and praising God and praying, I could imagine heaven with so many different cultures, so many different colors. And that's hard to find here in the United States.
In some other countries, sacrifice is a part of the spiritual walk rather than something to learn. So, like in Brazil, people live in the slums, they call favelas. And while we were there doing home visits, some of the most joyous, welcoming, happy people, and they never really talked about what they lacked. They always talked about what they had and what they appreciated.
What have you learned about God from another culture?
That He likes to bless people.